Australian farmers are a hardy bunch. It's a tough job to make a living off the land. But there's a revolution in the air, and it's all about robots working on farms.
In Australia, the farmers are finding it hard. So we could sit down and say, let's not build this type of technology, and that's it, done. Or we could say they need certain tools, they want certain help, so how do we build the technology that helps them?
He's created robots to help grow healthier and more sustainable food. And now he's taking them to meet the farmers.
It's moving! Some of my drivers can't do that.
3 of them are put through their paces on 3 very different farms.
Ready, CPU.
They did come back.
How will they perform? And what will the farmers make of it?
They're actually all watching it.
Touch a flame weeder to it, now we're really talking.
Ooh, that's a big one.
So do our farmers need a robot?
Come on!
That sounds more like me than myself.
"81-year-old Rod Cater is a country boy at heart. But he's got no time to slow down yet. Running 3,000 cattle across 2 properties is a demanding job. The Cater family has made a name for its beef. And it can take days to muster a herd in the steep hinterland. But come rain or shine, they cannot afford to take their eyes off their most valuable asset, their breeding cows and calves.
The most time-consuming thing is actually assessing the pastures and moving the cattle in a timely fashion rather than just waiting until they've eaten too much grass. The game's sort of lost.
Right back, right back. Push him in.
One of us is in the paddocks usually every day or second day. They're remarkably quiet. They're actually beautifully.
Finding enough time or help remains a challenge. And he and wife Penny are already lucky to have daughter Annabelle in the business. Too often their neighbours' kids have left for the big smoke.
They haven't grown like... So it would be better to put some kilos on these little ones.
But help is on its way, and Rod is quietly excited to introduce his prized cows to a new breed of stockman.
G'day, Salah.
How are you going?
Good, how are you?
The new station hand arrives with Professor Salah Sukkarieh and his team from the Australian Centre for Field Robotics.
How are you?
Very well, thanks.
Shall we get the bot out?
Yes, I think it's a good time to flash it and have a look.
Okay.
This could be the future. SwagBot is the first prototype of a robot to do cattle work 24/7 in all terrain and all weather.
Hello, SwagBot.
This 4-wheel drive robot could soon change the way farmers operate.
I'm very curious about robots, that opportunity to take away some of that menial work. But we have big hills here, and I thought, oh, this will be challenging, rocks and logs and hills. And also in a mob of cattle, I wonder whether the machine will be mobbed by the mob.
SwagBot is the only robot in the world being developed to work with grazing livestock.
At the moment, every eye is on us.
And they're yet to meet.
There's always an element of risk. We're dealing with animals that are much heavier than the robot itself. Would the animals ever get too fond of the robot or just not care about it enough that they could just be mucking around in whatever way and accidentally knock it over?
Well, now they're backing you off.
SwagBot is built for the outdoors, but no match for a spooked cow.
Let's just open the gate and let them through.
Today's first challenge, mingle safely with the crowd.
I think you're just going to go through the middle, eh? See what happens.
Best cow there, Rod.
They're just moving away from it, but not really scared. That's the ordinary space they give anything. But they're curious. See them coming in behind?
They're coming in from behind, okay.
So
look at that, that's interesting.
They're very curious.
That is amazing.
It's like when they first saw the children on bicycles.
Yeah.
we've familiarised these as youngsters with my voice call, and they will sort of respond to that. And if we were to put a voice recorded on that machine, they would follow it anywhere. And that would mean horses are for sport. Come on! Come on! Come on! Come on!
Rod is eager to coax the herd into following the strange new cowboy. But is his voice enough to put them at ease?
Come on! Come on! Come on!
It seems so.
Well, I think that was very interesting, but I think they were following my voice rather than the SwagBot. And it looks to me now as though we need to actually give them some reward for all this, otherwise they're going to get bored and they'll be disappointed in what we've been trying to teach them.
So if we tie a bag of hay to the back of SwagBot, bring it over here, you can feed them a bit. They might get used to the hay with SwagBot there. And then if we took SwagBot up along this fence line around here, we'll just see if they follow SwagBot with hay. Yeah.
Righto, let's give it a try.
But will the promise of food entice them into following a robot?
Come on, SwagBot.
SwagBot and its load are certainly interesting, but not quite enough. First, they expect a reward.
Come on. Come on.
And this does the trick.
I think that's pretty good, Rod. That's impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And they're not scared anymore.
And on to SwagBot's last test. Move the hungry crowd to greener pastures.
Robotics in agriculture is not just an Australian idea. There are many countries around the world that are also looking at robotics for agriculture. What's unique about the Australian context is the large sizes that we're dealing with. And what we found over the last few years is that the agriculture industry has really taken on field robotics, and we're becoming world leaders in the area.
For Rod, finding the time to move his cattle to fresh paddocks could soon be a thing of the past. It would be SwagBot's job. All it needs now is his voice as a lure.
What do you reckon, Rod?
Job done.
And not bad. All right, good.
I think it was quite impressive, actually, that they've got a sound and a visual cue, and I think they'll follow up on that.
Follow up on it. So we're going to come back with your voice recorded and being able to trial, being able to carry some hay bales, and we'll see what happens. We'll just do it from scratch.
Yep, absolutely. I think it'll work.
Good. That was really good. It was a good day. Imagine this robot just being able to spend time amongst the cattle, constantly checking animal health, being able to move them from pasture to pasture depending on the quality of the pasture.
Feral dogs.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. What I want to talk to you about is robotics and digital data and how that's going to impact food production over the next decade.
We're not inventing robots. Salah Sukkarieh is a man on the move, joining conferences and global think tanks to discuss his passion, sustainable food for the future.
To give the farmer an estimate of what's happening with the yield, for example.
Personally, there are really two parts I'm most interested in. One is there are people out there who want to grow food and love growing food and are finding it hard. So how do I help that process? And the other part to it all is that robots can actually help in terms of sustainability of both the food production process as well as the environment. So from a engineering perspective, it's about how do we build the systems that can help the farmers. And from a science perspective, is about what new technologies can we develop that actually can make food production more sustainable.
With another 2 billion people on the planet by 2050, farmers the world over have to grow more food and in smarter ways. And for him, that means not just the supermarket-dominated staples.
The drive for me is, how do you do things sustainably? How do we get that life back into farming that we once had, where we had different types of crops growing over different types of regions in a much more optimal and maybe chemical-free environment? And I know that's probably a big call, but I think the technology will help us go down that path.
Salah is a man with a big dream, but can his robots help to bring back healthier and more diverse food? Australian cities still depend on small-scale farmers for their fresh produce, and they're struggling, especially organic farmers. Growing chemical-free means a lot of extra work.
If I don't start at sunrise, then I probably don't end at sunset. You know, there's a lot of people who fantasize about organic farming and then get into it and realize that it is quite a hard slog. A lot of people who leave farming because it's too hard, because they don't get paid enough. They can't pay themselves enough, that is.
It might look idyllic, and market gardener Evan Anderson loves getting his hands dirty. But there are some things he truly dreads, like the endless weeding. What he needs is an extra pair of hands, low cost, green, and versatile. Exactly what Salah and his robotics team have in mind for their smallest but mighty assistant. And today is their first meeting.
Evan.
Howdy.
G'day, mate. How are you?
Pretty good. Stuff?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you.
Yep.
So should we give it a go?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Let's
We'll get it out of the trailer and we'll see what we can do.
Cool.
It's what we call the digital farmhand.
Cool. Smaller than I thought it'd be, but that makes sense.
If farmers like Evan could find the help they need, many small businesses could be saved.
Look at that little tractor hitch, look at that.
That's right, yeah.
It's a little tiny robotic tractor.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And that's Salah's mission, not replacing farmers, but supporting them.
Again, the idea is that it's very modular, allows you to plug and play different tools, different sensors on it, depending on how you change your activity throughout the year.
Oh. It's moving!
It's alive. So the whole idea is that it's here to help and to be as generic as possible, that it just helps you, like however you want to use it.
Look at that, you can put little implements on it. Man, I used to like remote control cars when I was a kid, but this is next level.
Would you like to have a go?
So this is a relatively new robot, and this one's really focusing on the smallholder farmer. And in that situation, there's a lot more of a difference in the environment. It's less structured. So we're trying to learn what happens when we throw this robot into that type of unstructured environment. We're still at the very early stages.
So if you just push on the throttle stick...
Digital Farmhand and Evan are off to a rocking start. But can the unassuming little robot deliver in the real world of farming?
Remote control tractor. Attach a flame weeder to it, now we're really talking.
In the smallholder situation, what you generally find is that the farmer can't afford to bring in labour, and so they're really doing everything themselves. What we need to be able to do is figure out how do you reduce the cost of the system itself, so that it becomes just another item that they might have on the farm, not this fancy piece of technology that's really expensive. I'm worried about using it, don't want to use it all the time, etc. So you're trying to make it robust and low cost so that they can use it.
So what can Farmhand do? First up, automated spraying. With a heavy tank attached, the electric assistant quickly faces its first hurdle.
So
You're gonna have to.
Yeah, so that's, if I had known.
The row width on the plot is wider than expected.
Keeps wanting to dig in, doesn't it?
An issue the team will have to address back in the lab. A little push and shove should get Farmhand back on track.
I first heard about one of these robots on a local young farmers group on a social media network. The first kind of responses from a lot of them, not all of them, but was really kind of like, oh no, they're kind of like, oh no, that's you know, that's horrible. We can't you know, have robots taking our jobs. But I think more so it's a fear of that complete automation and removing that human element from that stewardship of the land, where you're really caring for the land.
You don't want to lose the... Okay.
Now on to the next tool. Let's see if the tine weeder delivers a better run.
That could be.
Think we're ready?
Okay.
All right.
We'll give this one a go.
Okay.
It's the one task even Evan would love to see automated. Weeding.
You just go straight?
Yeah.
It's doing well.
It's looking promising.
But that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
And a bonus waits at the end.
So one of the things that we're interested in, Evan, is the ability to be able to row turn by itself, so that you could be at one end of the farm if you want to remotely control it, and then when it recognises it's at the end, it can just come along and chuck a U-turn, go into the next row, so you don't have to walk down with it. So that's one of the things that we want to try next.
I'm much more impressed with this degree of functionality than the water tank on the back of it there a second ago.
But Farmhand is much more than just an automated mini tractor.
And so the phone is talking to the robot through Bluetooth, and it's basically relaying instructions to the wheels and just collecting data as it's doing that.
That is cool.
The video footage gets collected, and let's start to run our algorithms over it and see whether we can do things like detect individual plants. Potentially one day in the future being able to detect whether it's healthy, some sort of disease, etc.
Once again, that is cool.
Simply by using the farmer's own phone, there are no extra costs for an onboard computer or camera.
There's a couple of tools I use quite frequently on the farm.
Now to the team's take-home challenge.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see if you
Can
guys
they
could,
make Evan's own tools work with Farmhand?
I don't know if...
So what are they? What are we doing here?
And this guy is a direct seeder, Jang seeder, direct seeder.
Can you show us how they work?
Yeah. Yeah. But for the sake of an example, you can just push along
Every
there.
piece of equipment that can be adapted makes the robot more appealing to farmers who can't even afford human help.
So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, say 6 rows. Would you do all 6 in one go?
Yeah, I'd plant all 6 at a time.
All right. Sounds like a good challenge.
So, and this is my flame weeder.
Okay.
And best for last, Evan has a flamethrower on his wish list.
Seedlings. We'll try to avoid the beans, and we're gonna blast them. Woo. We'll see if the beans make it.
The heat is on. Can Team Farmhand handle this one?
I think what we're saying was that we're accepting a challenge. We'll go away, we'll have a bit more of a think about it, do some design.
Look forward to it.
Good.
Back at their robot headquarters at the University of Sydney, Team Farmhand has been thinking up ways to adapt the tools.
Hey guys,
Hey, Salah.
just thought I'd come and have a chat about what we're going to do on Evan's farm around weeding and seeding.
Okay.
If Farmhand is going to change the world of small-scale farming, then they have to keep it simple and do as a farmer would. Work with off-the-shelf components from the local hardware store.
To mount the hitch directly to the seeder.
Robots will change the food production arena. It's going to be very hard to say we don't want robotics on farms, because what we're seeing is that the world is becoming a lot more internationally competitive when it comes to food production. Every country is looking at automation and robotics in some form.
So like this is basically, we're just going to attach one bottle for now.
Okay.
And so
Building robots is a team effort, fusing expertise from many fields, like mechanics, electronics, and software engineering. A complex task for seemingly simple solutions.
Yep. Okay, that's good. Excellent. We'll give it a go.
Yep.
This lab has emerged as one of the world leaders in field robotics.
The Australian Centre for Field Robotics is a research institute. Our focus is both on what does it mean to build an intelligent robot, so the science around autonomy, as well as building prototype systems and also working with end users and demonstrating the robots with end users.
From regular RGB cameras, similar to what you'd have.
From simple robots with mechanical tools to high-end systems packed with the latest sensors, a successful robot needs both brawn and brain.
So then these two here are time-of-flight cameras.
But how do you create an intelligent machine?
So the general concept around artificial intelligence is this idea that a computer can work like the human brain. And one of our tasks from both a research and engineering perspective is how can we use the different computers and how they're connected together in some way that either, I wouldn't say mimics the human brain, but actually tries to process that information in a type of similar manner. So for example, a computer could sit with a camera and the computer's role is just to process the camera data. Another computer can sit with the wheels and deal with moving the wheels, and there could be a third computer that's trying to read between those two computers and trying to understand what's going on between them.
And with these interconnected networks, robots learn to think and act as they compute their environment.
Okay, it's running.
Like detecting plants and treating them while moving over a row of crops.
What we're seeing is increasing levels of autonomy. To make that work, we have to have learning algorithms working in real time as well as actions working in real time. And what we mean by real time is the ability for it, while it's moving, it's actually absorbing information, understanding its environment, and then making a decision instantaneously. So we're now right at the cusp, right at the beginning of seeing this breakthrough in that type of technology and what it means and what it implies in terms of on-farm activity.
RIPPA is their most advanced robot and right on the brink of this new computing frontier. This robot is a multitasker designed for large vegetable fields, and its new system is about to be tested on a commercial farm.
They've got all the others, that's great.
But first, they have a special guest, cattle farmer Rod.
Welcome to the lab, Rod.
Thanks, good. Well, this looks very interesting.
Here's where we keep all our machines, or the ones that we can fit, and all the other bigger ones are out. And
Salah's lab is not only unique for what they're inventing, but also for involving many end users or farmers hands-on.
And then we move into the ag robotics area. Right. And here's SwagBot. And Matt, you've met Matt.
Hi, Matt.
Welcome to the
lab. How do you do? Thank you very much. So you've made a few modifications.
Yeah, no, we've added. Remember, if you remember from the last field trial, where we talked about, well, what if we recorded your voice and see whether or not we could call the animals? So we've added a couple of speakers on the back.
You haven't got my voice on it yet.
No, that's what we're going to do today.
Okay.
And if we can get a recording from you now, as if you're on the farm, from you now, if that's okay.
Exactly as we do with the heifers. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. That probably should do it.
What does it sound like?
Let's have a listen.
Calling the heifers from one paddock to another. Come on, come on, come on.
If this doesn't attract Rod's cattle, then there's little chance SwagBot will.
There's something else I want to show you.
Okay, that sounds exciting.
There's Javier over here.
Great to see you again, Rory. Good to see you again. How are you?
The team has prepared a special sprayer for a die-hard pest on Rod's second property.
Yep, so what we've done here is we've just put together a couple of sprays on some rotating booms here.
What we're finding with robotics in agriculture is that it's more of a technology pull than a technology push. It's the farmers who are looking for help, and they're looking at technology as a means of being able to operate their farms more efficiently.
Do like the normal spray. We can then sort of get in there and go around the base of the plant.
I think that's going to be a most exciting addition to the SwagBot. I think it's something we've been looking for a long time.
The idea now is to go out to your farmer and give it a go.
Absolutely.
Weeds remain one of the most costly problems in agriculture. And that's no different here on Rod's second cattle farm, where his young animals fatten up on the dry, high-protein grass. It's a steep learning curve for SwagBot, not herding cattle, but fighting the pests that take over their valuable feed. Weeds like burrs.
Over in this open area is probably...
Yeah. You could go for sort of 1, 2...
I think they're all right.
They are everywhere.
Yep.
Dealing with robots that have to work outdoors generally is very much like a systems engineering type of problem. You've got to look at software, mechanics, electronics and electrical engineering all coming in together. So the team has to come in with that skill set as well, and you won't find that complete skill set on a complex robot in a complex environment with one person.
Today they prepare SwagBot for its first ever autonomous spraying run.
The traverse.
Yeah.
Using the robot's onboard GPS, they've created a route with waypoints. Now it's back to the software engineer to plot the final run.
Yep, all the points are there and we're ready to go.
Okay, Vinny, all yours.
Starting.
And off SwagBot goes, for the first time on its own. No more remote control, solely on GPS. In the future, robots like SwagBot will work in tandem with flying robots or drones. They can quickly search for weed hotspots and simply inform the ground robot where to go and what to spray.
It's a nice one.
And once SwagBot knows a GPS location, it can always go back and check for regrowth. It's an ongoing automated pest controller.
Good work, guys.
This future is in reach, and these early prototype robots get smarter with every trial. And if there is one person who can't wait to see them smart enough, it's Rod. His worst enemy out here is a non-native weed called African boxthorn. It's now spread over a third of his property.
G'day, Salah.
How are you, mate?
Long time no see.
How you been?
Oh, been good, yeah, and you?
Yeah, not too bad.
He and station manager Matt know time is running out to stop the invasion, or they'll lose even more of their pastures. But this pest is much harder to eradicate than the native weeds.
Oh, come on, let's have a look. We'll find you some. The problem with African boxthorn is if you spray it with a foliar spray, the leaves fall off and it stays alive, it just grows them again. We tried mechanical clearing, and at $40,000 we'd done half a paddock, so we gave up. I believe if you just let weeds take over a cattle station, it would become unviable. This is the final product, is the orange berry that attracts the
His
birds.
hopes are resting on SwagBot, the weed terminator.
Spread wherever the bird goes. If SwagBot can be fitted with a mechanism to recognise a plant and selectively kill that by whatever means, then I think that would be a huge benefit to Australia, which at the moment probably spends some billions of dollars a year on herbicide chemicals to our own detriment.
All right, well, let's bring SwagBot in, see what we can do.
Very good. Well, we're ready. Give us a demonstration.
It's time for SwagBot to learn how to think and act like a farmer.
This is the first iteration. We don't expect it to work on every single type of boxthorn. We just want to see now, how does it work?
To do something like weeding, especially like basil barking, it actually is quite a complex task.
All right, so guys, take it away as you want.
So from a robot's perspective, one thing is to try and analyse where that stem is, or the multiple stems are. And even if you could identify a stem, you've got to understand the terrain around it. Is it bumpy? Are there rocks? If I did go in there and spray, can I actually retrieve myself back out again? So there's the perception, understanding, identifying, classifying, moving the robot accurately, positioning, spraying, returning. You have to try and code that into a robot, which is very, very difficult.
But if you're talking about having it on...
Every move helps SwagBot to understand the task. Ultimately, it will self-generate the manoeuvres.
There you go.
So which variable are you changing?
To kill boxthorn, the sprayer has to move in right above the ground, then drench its bark at the base.
That would do it. That's ideal. Like, that's perfect, because
This time, the manoeuvre and sprayer hit the mark.
if you look, it'll all be wet, like with a better wetting gun.
It might look small, but this could be a multi-million-dollar move.
If it can conserve chemical, that's half the battle.
Yeah.
My first impression is that it's doing things I thought it would have trouble doing, and I think if I can go and do other things while it goes out eradicating these weeds, I think we've taken a giant step, a giant leap for mankind.
All right, well, I'll start the log.
And to take that giant leap, SwagBot needs to learn to operate fully on its own. That means not only spray a weed, but also automatically detect it. But how do you teach a robot what a plant looks like? There's no shortcut. The team has to feed SwagBot with the weed's data, and lots of it.
There are two types of information that we're looking at. One is hard sensory data. So sensory data like vision data. So it's just like what you would have in a camera, will give us red, green and blue colour, but from that we can also do things such as understand texture and shape as well. So from a robot's perspective, when they look out into the landscape, such as the landscape you see behind me, we can see nice colours and textures and shapes. But a robot will also be able to read laser data and could estimate quite clearly how far that tree is, for example, and the trees around better than we can, down to the centimetre. The second type of information is just our own knowledge that we gain in the process of being able to acquire that data. So those two types of information we take back to the lab with us. The hard data, the sensory data, which we then analyse with algorithms, but then there's that other knowledge that we've gained about, for example, how we would position the robot the next time.
And from here, it's straight back home to the lab. With around 7,000 new images collected, it's time for SwagBot's first lesson.
So we've downloaded it off SwagBot and extracted all the images.
This is about learning by seeing.
We've got African boxthorn.
Machine learning using sensory data, such as a camera, is very similar to what you might find machine learning currently doing on your smartphones. Things such as your thumbprint that gets recognised, or a recognition of a face through the camera. There's an algorithm that's written, almost like a recipe, that's put inside the phone, takes in the data, and from that data tries to learn and recognise individual features.
Yeah, so we planned the weeds we wanted to look at and then took images from different angles for those weeds.
So initially the way this works is that we have to come along and go through what we would call a supervised learning process. When we were looking at African boxthorn, we may take shots from different angles, different lighting conditions, and the machine learning algorithms will try to build up some correlation in that data. When I see these colours and it has that type of texture, then I think that's African boxthorn. And the more of that data that we give the machine learning algorithm, the more confident it becomes in identifying what African boxthorn is.
Armed with its first 100 hand-labelled images, it's now up to SwagBot to go into training for its deep learning phase. And that's learning without any human supervision. Its digital brain has already recognised this weed has thorns, leaves, and often multiple stems. Now it searches every new image for these characteristics and puts a red label around boxthorn on its own. And the more data SwagBot gets, the better it identifies the target. It just takes time. The robot that has already done the hard yards is RIPPA.
Go slow. Let me just open this window. Yep. Yep.
RIPPA is the flagship of the fleet, a fully autonomous robot run by the newest systems in artificial intelligence.
RIPPA is a very different robot to the other ones. We're very much focusing on the large-scale operations, the big growers that predominantly feed most of Australia. RIPPA is quite advanced in terms of the type of technology that's on board. Because we are dealing with the larger scale farms, we can afford to put more expensive sensors, more expensive equipment on board, and have a much more sophisticated robot.
The solar-powered RIPPA is now facing its final round of trials. If things go to plan, the platform should soon be ready for its full operational release. This robot is all about precision technology and packed with highly accurate sensors that are connected to neural networks. It can understand its surroundings and then activate a range of tools or payloads. All this on its own and in real time. RIPPA is a fast learner, and today it will be put to an acid test. Only a few hours ago, it learned about a new crop, broccoli. Now it has to find and remove pests from it. And the team is getting ready for an early trial.
All right.
Where would I sit if I was a beetle?
Somewhere where it's nice and munchy, right? Field days are the most important part of the whole R&D cycle. All right, Matt, we're ready.
Ready.
Okay, better work. We have these really fancy ideas to start off with, and we're all confident, and then you go out into the environment, and the environment teaches you a whole lot more. Okay, stop. Matt, you're doing ground-based.
What?
We're on pests.
Oh, I thought you were on the other one.
Sorry, go back.
Come on. There will always have a problem in any field trial. We'll have robots not working, navigation systems not working, we'll have robots fall down in holes, we'll have soil types. They could be really muddy, but what we've learnt comes back into the next field trial.
All set to run the trial for grower Adam Ballon.
Morning. How's it going?
How are we?
G'day, Adam. We just did a trial where we pretended there was some foreign
Adam is a
objects
third-generation farmer. And like many of his colleagues, he can't wait to see what the robots have in store. It's all systems go.
Ready, CPU.
Foreign objects can be anything that finds its way into vegetable fields.
One. You got it. One.
From pests like snails or beetles to rubbish like plastic or glass.
Two.
If they end up in produce boxes, supermarkets can reject the entire truckload.
It might be better on the other side behind it.
Got it. You ripper.
Adam's days of walking hundreds of rows with a backpack vacuum could soon be over.
We just go through every single plant and suck it up. So, I mean, this is actually identifying where it's got to go.
Exactly right, yeah.
So, I mean,
because we talked about
that's a lot smarter than what we actually need.
That's good. Missed 4, got 10. Good work, guys.
Okay.
Running a 240-acre vegetable farm comes with many challenges. Horticulture is labour-intensive and highly competitive on the national and global market. And the nature of seasonal work only adds to the pressure.
Our cost of production is getting higher and higher and higher, and there's a lot of time that our pricing doesn't match up on what our cost of production is. Labour cost is becoming a major factor into our business. I have no doubt that in time we are going to have to go robotic. It's hitting our industry 100 miles an hour. And if we don't move with the times, you start to fall behind.
An autonomous robot easily outlasts any farm worker. RIPPA can cover 5 acres a day just on solar charge. That's looking at every single plant on around 4 football fields at a swift 6 kilometres an hour. Robots will have to perform a range of jobs and learn fast. And RIPPA is pushing into uncharted territory.
We tried out these new machine learning algorithms which allowed us to speed up the whole learning process. So we want to be able to go through and have RIPPA traverse over a number of different rows, identify the plant, and now RIPPA knows that plant. It can now target and spray that individual plant. Spraying brilliantly now. And what that would do is dramatically reduce the amount of chemicals. And that would be a game changer, because if you could do something like that, then within a space of a few hours, you can go to any farm anywhere around Australia, and all of a sudden RIPPA will now know, okay, this is the crop that I'm most interested in. It's still firing more on this side. No, you're right. It's still firing more on this side.
Out in the paddocks, SwagBot has to learn what a weed is. Here, RIPPA learns what the crop is, and everything else is weed.
It's firing away. It's doing really
Now
well.
it can decide on the spot what to fertilise or eradicate. Or it can activate its vacuum or the mechanical weeder. All that while moving along.
Not bad, since it's only learnt about broccoli yesterday.
It's pretty impressive what those algorithms can do. Collect some data, train them up, and that's it. It knows broccoli now.
Yeah. So the bot that we've seen so far will definitely be beneficial to us, but mechanising the harvesting will be what I would like to think is our #1 priority, because that's where we're so labour intense.
The race to invent tomorrow's outdoor harvesting robot is already on. Salah's team is running first lab experiments, but there's still a long way to go. Not only does a system need to be able to identify what the crop is and if it's the right size to be picked, it also needs to master delicate moves without damaging the crop.
No, probably a little bit lower, but you can feel it now. If you, no,
safe to put the hand in?
It's quite safe.
Okay, just get. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's very strong, actually, isn't it? It's a lot of pressure in there. Can we do that again?
In the future, a harvesting arm like this could be
That's
added to
very
RIPPA. But for now, the pressure is on to complete a robust platform that can manage crops across the growing cycle. Another early morning on Evan's organic farm, and the team has to face up to its challenge.
Doing now is a flamethrower idea of ours.
Have they been able to adapt his tools to work with digital Farmhand?
Be good to see. Like to try.
They will attempt to match Evan's flame weeder.
Perfect timing.
It's not a real robot until you got a flamethrower on it.
Actually, over here, Issa.
The brand new setup hasn't been tested yet, and they hope it's only the weeds that will go up in smoke.
Flame on?
Yeah. All right, okay, the time has come.
That's that maximum?
That's maximum.
I'll have to get slower than that.
Gotta go much slower. That's not getting them there.
Yeah, there's not enough heat on those guys, though.
Yeah, so we're either going to come in closer, go slower, or have a much larger flame, a little bit higher.
Much larger flame.
The blaze isn't up to the job, but then luck strikes.
What's the one nozzle? I mean, that's a pretty concentrated heat now. Without the nozzle.
That's a nice little accident.
Attempt number 2, nozzle free.
You can see it char now.
Yep, that's
cooking.
That's cooking.
Yeah. I mean, is that enough? Well, just what happened there?
That's probably enough.
Yeah.
We got that.
Finally, the heat is on target, and plans for the next iteration already in progress.
Great as well. And the next advanced level from there would be connecting the electronics and the smarts to the system so that it automatically turns on and off the nozzles according to what it's, where the plants are, for example.
And more fuel and more fire.
More fuel. More fuel and more fire. All right, good. Okay, the next challenge you gave us, the cedar.
Cedar.
All right.
1 down, 1 to go. Can Evan start to see himself with a robot assistant?
What I perceive with the robot today is not necessarily the fear that I had before, but a glimpse at an opportunity as well. We don't want it taking jobs, but it definitely has the capacity to allow it to be more efficient, which I potentially foresee myself as, if my farm is more efficient, I would have more people helping me.
We can take one of these and put them to the...
Having more time for less back-breaking work would be a big relief for farmers like Evan. Their focus is on quality and diversity of food, not on supercharging a production line.
we've gone a long way from the way we used to farm to now to deal with mass production of food and commoditisation of food. And with that, what we've done is we've narrowed down the food types that we eat, and we've also introduced more chemicals onto the land. And what robotics is offering is a solution to kind of revert back to the old ways, but to do it in an automated fashion.
The gears are turning. Them gears are turning, them seeds are falling.
To tell you the truth, when I first heard of the robot, I was quite skeptical that they could be removing that human element from the land. But now, seeing this robot in action, even though it is very much still its trial phase, you know, maybe we could grow a little bit more food and employ them to be working side by side with me, doing something a little bit more interesting.
While you be pushing down?
Whilst it's ideal to be...
With the proof of concept achieved, Digital Farmhand is one step closer to becoming an accepted tool.
Yeah, that was definitely better with the weight on it there.
Okay, well, we've seen it works, right? As a system being towed behind, it will do it.
And to top the day off, Evan gets a glimpse of Digital Farmhand's smarts to come.
What the potential is with this sort of
Crop intelligence and big data that will be available at any time.
So Evan, I just wanted to show you some of the data that we collected at a different farm in Sydney, where we normally do our tests. Here we see a lettuce farm, and so here you see the imagery being collected from the smartphone. As we do that, we then determine what the size of the lettuce is, and from there we can infer weight. And so if you look at this graph, we can determine how much weight per metre the crop is producing.
What we're seeing in the global community now is a lot more around the open source initiative. People are putting the data up in the cloud, and there are computer science people all around the world who are sitting there taking that data and applying algorithms to it because they like doing that and they enjoy doing that. So you can imagine in the future being able to have something like a lettuce app that sits on a phone.
That's so cool to be able to correlate video imagery and then translate that into data.
Yeah, I find that quite cool too.
Yeah.
For this little robot, the digital sky's the limit. Whether adopted as a mechanical tool or crop IQ manager, it seems to be well on its way.
If I had to look down the future path, it's that the small digital farmhand, which is going to be the smallest and easiest robot to use, may impact more people's lives than some of the bigger robots. A growing population, 9.5 billion people by 2050, so we have to grow more food. So we're going to see more urban farming. We're going to see little robots working in your backyard, growing crops for you personally.
A farmhand mini-me, looking after your homegrown vegetables. Now that's a taste of things to come. Back at Rod's breeding farm, the team sets up for a big morning.
So we just want to see whether they remember SwagBot, and if they do, well, we'll just follow the path, and then we'll see whether or not the voice call works as well.
Armed with Rod's voice under the hood, will SwagBot be able to lure the herd into following without seeing him?
Yep.
A month after their first encounter, nobody knows what to expect, cows included.
Make a call until we say, yeah, we'll just see how far
the
we go with it.
first step.
Just see if they're curious enough that they'll follow.
How will the cattle react to Rod's familiar call coming from a robot? Can his voice alone muster the herd?
See, they're looking at both. They're looking at both the.
It's time for the call out.
Okay. Do you want to try, Dave?
Come on! Come on!
Keep calling.
Come on! Come on! Come on!
That's brilliant.
Come on!
That's awesome.
Robots 5 years ago, to me, were just a bit sci-fi, you know, something that didn't really rate. But now they're becoming a reality, and I think they're going to play a big part in agriculture. If we've got to feed a lot more people, then we've got to do it better and smarter. And I think robots are going to be able to help us do that.
Good call. What do you reckon, Rod? We've automated you.
You've killed it.
Right? Because they don't know whether to hang back. Where's the food?
Good.
Well, that worked. That's brilliant. From a robotics perspective, what you want them to get used to is that the robot's going to help them move from one part of the field to another part of the field where it may be better, where it may be better for them. So you want them to get used to the fact that if the bot comes and it's calling out, then it's calling out and saying, I've got some better food for you.
If you had SwagBot calling, going to the gate, that would be the paddock move. Done. Yeah. I'm starting to see some applications that I didn't realise before. There's a fair bit of cynicism that robots could be of use because a lot of it is hard and heavy and specialised work. But that'll change as soon as they start making an economic difference or start being on the shelf in the rural supply shop. Come and get your robot battery. I can see that our children will have a very different approach to robots.
So, Dave, what we're going to do is we're going to put the food on the trailer and we'll just do the same thing again and just see whether they...
Because otherwise they'll get sick of following if they don't get a reward. Just like children.
These trials are the first in the world that venture into cattle robot behaviour on farms. In a few years, this could become reality.
I'm not worried that it may take over the work on the stations. I think it will make cattle stations more efficient. Technology is definitely part of the future of primary production. I think it's going to expand way beyond SwagBot. I think the basic SwagBot is really the carrier of technology yet to come.
Now to the final test.
Okay, I think just go a bit quickly after this. Call again. There you go.
Will the cattle be game enough to feed off that strange machine? It would be an important sign of trust.
Dave, have they grabbed the hay? Very close, okay. Just wait there and we'll see what happens. Call out again, Dave.
Patience, someone will start in a minute.
No, they're not eating. They're going, you go first. You go first.
Yeah, they will. A few up there can smell it. They know it's there. They just think it's a bit new and we haven't seen this before. Don't know whether we can touch it or not.
Surely it just needs one of them to be brave enough.
No, just wait. Patience is a virtue.
One day we can imagine a situation where the robot itself is just part of the herd. It moves with the herd, it sees where they're eating, it monitors the behaviour of each individual animal, maybe tell whether an animal's sick or not.
It sounds more like me than myself.
If you can do something like that, then it can completely change the way a farmer may want to operate their farm. And that, to me, I think with greater information means they'll be able to optimise their operations on the farm.
I'll pretend to eat that grass. I really don't want it. I really want that hay.
You can do it. Go for it. It's right there.
Yes,
there you go.
We have a winner.
Come on.
It's number...
Come on. There you go.
Well done.
There you go. Good.
72 is the winner.
72.
And with that mouthful, SwagBot's Cowboy future has just begun.
Robo girl.
The question that always pops into your head is, can this technology eventually outdo what a farmer does? But I think the thing to remember is that technology hasn't fallen from the sky. We're actually building it. So we as humans are building robots to help humans. And so in that kind of context, we are able to sit down and say, well, that's where the boundary is. We don't want to go further than that. And I would love to have a robot that works with a farmer where the farmer can sit down and say, no, SwagBot, I don't want you to do that. I'm interested in doing it. You stay here and off it goes. And you want to be able to be in that position.
You know what I'd really like? An experiment where there is just no humans whatsoever.
So what do our farmers make of the robots? Do they see a future with Farmhand, RIPPA or SwagBot?
I think the farmer does need a robot. And I think a basic robot fitted with an app that will do the things that you want it to do will be in the future a great asset.
I'll be going down the road for a SwagBot tomorrow.
Friend or foe? I'd say the bot is both.
I don't know if it can run farms, but the world's changing, so there's no question there might be an opportunity for them to run farms.
Do I think today's farmers need a robot? I think today's robots need a farmer.
Come on, SwagBot.